I'm Mariefiebach of feedyourfamilytonight.com, and today we are making chicken and stuffing bake. I love to make this in the fall. It's kind of a warm, comforting food that's reminiscent of Thanksgiving, but so much easier, and something that you can make easily on a Tuesday night. It starts with 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast that I have cut into 1-inch cubes. And to that, I'm gonna add 3/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning and 1.5 teaspoons of coarse sea salt. I'm just gonna take a fork and I'm kind of gonna stir this around to get the chicken coated in the salt and the poultry seasoning. Once it's all coated, then we're gonna go on and we're going to make the stuffing part of this chicken and stuffing bake. I like to use just a bag of prepared stuffing mix. Today I'm using the cubed kind, but if you prefer the kind that is made more of breadcrumbs, it's totally fine. It's just a 12-ounce bag of stuffing mix. And to that bag, I'm going to add some broth and veggies. But before we do that, I'm actually going to take this 2 cups of chicken broth and I'm going to add 1 cup of diced onion and 1 cup of diced celery. And when I do the celery, I tend to add some of the celery leaves as well, kind of that inner part of the celery that nobody really likes to eat. It works really well in stuffing. And then you're adding 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Now, I take this and I heat it up in my microwave for about 2 minutes. And what that does is that gets the broth heating and it starts to soften the celery and the onions so that they're not super crunchy. Once it's heated for 2 or 3 minutes in the microwave on high, you're gonna pour it over this dried stuffing mix and you're gonna stir it until the stuffing starts to absorb some of that liquid. It won't totally absorb all of the liquid, but it will start to kind of absorb that liquid. Once that's mixed through and the liquid starts to absorb, then you're gonna put the stuffing on top of the chicken. This is an 8x8-inch Pyrex dish, which is what I like to use to bake this in. You want your oven preheated to 350 degrees, and this is gonna bake at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. Now, stuffing is a very personal thing. There are people that like their stuffing super wet, and there are people that like their stuffing kind of crunchy. I'm in the crunchy camp. So I like to bake this closer to an hour so the stuffing can kind of dry out on the surface and get really crunchy. If you like your stuffing a little bit wetter, then you may even want to cover it with some foil to keep it really, really moist and bake it for only 45 minutes. Either way is fine. It's kind of a personal preference thing, but this chicken stuffing bake is a perfect weeknight dinner. It comes together in just minutes and then just bakes in your oven, totally hands off. And while we're talking about stuffing, Thanksgiving is coming. Have you thought about who you're going to be eating Thanksgiving with? Have you thought about what you're going to be making for Thanksgiving dinner? If you want help with that, look at the Feed Your Family Tonight Holiday Planning Guide. I have a countdown to Thanksgiving with all of the things that you need to be doing in the few weeks that head up to Thanksgiving, and then day by day what you need to do Thanksgiving week so that you can have a successful Thanksgiving dinner. If you have never made a turkey, I have Thanksgiving 101 to make sure that you know how to thaw your turkey properly, get it prepared so that it's easy to cook on Thanksgiving Day. This is at feedyourfamilytonight.com/holiday. This recipe is always on the website, and I'll be talking about it in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group. If you ever have questions, join me there. I'm happy to answer them.